increase one single dime. Not one dime. In fact, I offer 3 times the tax relief for middle-class families, as Senator McCain does. Because in an economy like this, the last thing we should do is raise taxes on the middle class. So don't believe those commercials. I'm a tax cutter. I'm going to put some money in your pockets so you can spend that money buying groceries and buying gas, and you can help that small business. I will finally keep the promise of affordable, accessible health care for every single American. If you have health care, I will lower your premiums working with your employer. If you don't have health care, you'll be able to get the same health care that members of Congress give themselves. Because you know what? You, the taxpayer, you pay our salaries. You're our boss. We should have better health care than you do. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stop insurance companies from discriminating against those who are sick and need care the most. Because I know something about this. When my mother got sick with cancer, she was on a hospital bed. I remember watching her argue with insurance companies. They were saying, we don't have to pay for your treatment. You got a pre-existing condition. And she had to fight. She ended up getting those treatments. She got them paid for, but I don't like seeing sick people have to argue with insurance companies to get what they pay for, and that's going to change when I'm president of the United States of America. I'm also going to create the jobs of the future. We're going to transform our energy economy. We will tap our natural gas reserves. We're going to invest in clean coal technology. We'll find ways to safely harness nuclear power. I'll help harness our auto companies to retool so that the fuel-efficient cars of the future are built right here in the United States of America. I'll make it easier for the American people to afford these new cars. And I will invest $150 billion over the next decade in affordable, renewable sources of energy. Wind power, solar power, the next generation of biofuels, an investment that will lead to new industries, 5 million new jobs that pay well and can't ever be outsourced. Now's the time to finally meet our moral obligation to provide every child with a world-class education, from the day that child is born to the day that child graduates from college. Because it will take nothing less to compete in the global economy. So I'm going to recruit an army of new teachers. We're going to pay them higher salaries and give them more support. In exchange, I'll ask for higher standards and more accountability, but we're going to make sure the teachers don't have to teach to the test. Because we want our children learning everything, math and science and art and music. We'll invest in early childhood education to close the achievement gap. And we'll keep our promise to every young American. If you commit to serving your community or your country, if you are part of the Peace Corps, you join our military, if you work in a homeless shelter or veterans home, if you make that investment in America, then America will invest in you. We'll make sure that you've got the money to go to college. That is a promise we can keep to the next generation. We're going to invest in infrastructure. We've got to rebuild our roads, our bridges. We've got to build broadband lines so every community in rural America can get the internet at high speeds. And we've got to invest in new electricity grids so we can get that new energy from wind farms to population centers, from solar panels to places that need them. And if people tell you that we can't afford it to rebuild our infrastructure, then you just remind them we're spending $10 billion a month in Iraq. And Iraq has a $79 billion surplus, and we've got a deficit. So I, as president, will bring this war in Iraq to a close. And we'll finish the fight in Afghanistan against the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. we'll start spending some of that money right here, rebuilding America. And I will never hesitate to strike against those who would do us harm. As Commander-in-Chief, I will make sure, though, that we've got a clear mission and an exit strategy. And we are providing our troops with the training and the equipment they need. And I will make a solemn promise that when our young men and women in uniform come home, that they are treated with the dignity and the respect that they have earned. No more begging for disability payments. We will salute them and we will follow through with the benefits that they deserve. This is the change that we need. The kind of bottom-up growth, innovation, discovery that will advance the American economy by advancing the dreams of all Americans. Not just some, but all. That's why we call it the American dream. We don't call it Joe's dream or Sally's dream or Pookie's dream. We call it the American dream because it's a dream we have not just for ourselves but for each other and for our children. I know times are hard. I won't pretend that the changes we seek will be easy. They won't come without a cost. I've presented ways we can achieve these changes in a fiscally responsible way, but we're going to have to change our priorities in Washington. I know that we're going to have to overcome our doubts and divisions and the determined opposition of powerful specialists. They don't want us to reform. They are still making money, even in this climate. But we're going to have to work hard to truly reform a broken economy and advance opportunity for all people. But I am running for president because we can't afford 4 more years of a do-nothing economic philosophy that works for Wall Street instead of Main Street and ends up devastating both. I don't want to wake up 4 years from now to find more Americans out of work, more Americans foreclosed on, more Americans who fell out of the middle class, more families who lost their savings. I don't want to see that our country failed to invest in our ability to compete, and our children's future was mortgaged on another mountain of debt, and our financial markets failed to find firmer ground. This time, this election is a chance to stand up and say, enough is enough. Enough is enough. We can do this, but we gotta do what. You remember what Fannie Lou Hamer said? She said she was sick and tired of being sick and tired. We got to be sick and tired of being sick and tired. We got to stand up and come together. Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Native American, young, old, all of us coming together. We can do this because Americans have done this before. Time and again, we've battled back from adversity by recognizing that common stake we have in each other's success. That's why our economy is not just the world's greatest wealth generator. It's bound America together. It's created jobs. It's made the dream of opportunity a reality for generation after generation. And now it falls to us. But, Lord, I need you to make it happen. If you're not fighting for it, I can't win this alone. If you're not behind me, if you don't feel that fierce sense of urgency, what Dr. King called the urgency of now, then we may not cross that finish line. If you want the next 4 years looking just like the last 8, I'm not your candidate. But if you want real change, if you want an economy that works for Main Street and Wall Street, if you want tax relief for the middle class and millions of new jobs, if you want health care you can afford and education so our kids can compete, then I need you to knock on some doors. I need you to make some phone calls. I need you to talk to your neighbors. I need to give you my vote. I need you to give me my vote. And I promise you, if you will roll up your sleeves, if you roll up your sleeves and join with me and commit to this cause in these last 45 days, we can rebuild this country, block by block, city by city, county by